Welcome to Mindful Chatting, a podcast where therapy meets real life. I'm Kristen, a therapist, business owner, and a lifelong student of what it means to fully show up in our relationships, in our work, and in our healing. Here, we unpack mental health concepts, explore mindfulness tools, and talk through the messy, beautiful, in-between moments that shape us. Whether you're a fellow clinician, a curious listener, or someone navigating your own growth, this space is for you. Let's chat. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Thoughtful Thursdays on Mindful Chatting. Remember, this is our quiet space to slow down, breathe, and explore the real patterns that show up in relationships, the ones that we all feel but don't always name and talk about. And on this special day, I want you to grab your comfort drink, your blanket, and just take a deep breath and kind of maybe use this podcast or this space to step away from all of the chaos of the bustle of the holidays and just let yourself settle in. Today, we're going to talk about something that we've all been told but rarely challenged, which is relationships are not 50-50. Here's the thing, and I want to dispel this myth because we hear it a lot. The idea that a healthy relationship should be this equal, balanced, and fair thing. 50-50, half and half. But that's not always how real life works because life isn't balanced. And that sucks, I know, because trust me, we want it to be balanced, right? We try so hard for it to be balanced. And guess what? Our energy isn't always consistent, and love doesn't live inside this math. Sometimes one partner carries more, and sometimes the other one does too. And that's okay, as long as both people are committed to the balance of the whole, not the measurement of the moment. So let's break this down. The 50-50 mindset kind of turns relationships into scoreboards. It makes us track who did what, who tried harder, who's basically winning. But relationships aren't transactionals. They're ecosystems, because some days you're going to actually be the strong one, and some days you're going to be the one who needs help getting out of bed. And love holds both of those states. The healthiest relationships don't measure equality in effort. They measure equality in how we take care of each other. And that's something that I want everyone to think about, because we go into this partnership thinking that I'm going to hold my 50 and you're going to hold your 50. But what that does is it goes, are you holding your 50? Because if you're not, then I have to hold the rest of that 50. When what it's really saying is we actually have to help and take care of each other. I'm going into a partnership with this idea that we are supposed to take care of each other. So when one person is going to lag, I help you, whether that be taking it over or literally holding you up so that the next time I don't feel 100%, you also do the same thing for me. And it's this reciprocity that goes back and forth that I think is lacking in this individualized ways of relationships, in that we have to hold our side of the fence. I do think that that is important because you don't always want to be the one that's not holding up your effort. But at the same time, we don't want to hold this resentment towards our partner if we are having to go to the other side of their fence to help them, because we sometimes need help. We sometimes need to get into that vulnerable state to ask for help. And we want our partner to show up to that, not hold it over our heads later. For any clinicians tuning in, if insurance billing is the part of your practice that drains your soul, Headway will be your best friend. They get you credentialed, send you referrals, manage your billing, submit your claims, all the stuff none of us went to grad school for. It's free to join, and honestly, it's been a huge support for therapists who want to take insurance without drowning in the administration part. My link is in the show notes if you want to check it out. So what is real balance, and what does that actually sound like? So it could be sentences that we say to each other of, I got us today, you can rest, or you've been giving a lot lately, let me take some of the weight off of you, or we're not even right now, but it's okay. It's not always symmetrical, it's reciprocal. Balance doesn't mean splitting the load evenly sometimes. It means noticing and appreciating when someone's load might actually be heavier, and then we adjust together. I think that's also the thing of appreciation looks like, I know you're carrying more than 50%. And guess what? I see that. I see you doing that. And I see you doing that for us and our family. And I love that about you. I love that you're doing that for us right now, because that person is going to feel seen. They're going to feel heard. They're going to know that they're carrying a heavier load, but they know that their partner appreciates them for doing it. If you grew up around inconsistency where like your needs weren't met, or you had to carry too much in relationships, imbalance can feel unsafe. And I'm more talking about relationships where it's a clearly imbalance. You've brought up the fact that you need this other person to help you and they don't show up. That is the difference between somebody who wants to show up and tries to show up and gives effort, but maybe they don't always give the 50%, but it's not because they don't want to or that they don't try to. Those are very two different relationships. But when we're in an imbalanced relationship for too long, our nervous system feels that imbalance in any capacity, especially if we're moving into a new relationship, can feel unsafe, like something's off, something's wrong. And so this will lead you into feeling guilty when you need help. And needing help is a human thing. Or we may feel resentful when you're the one maybe giving the most. But that's not weakness. That's your nervous system remembering what it felt like to be unsupported, to be unmet. So before you label yourself as either too much or your partner not enough, I just want you to ask yourself, is this about the now, the relationship that I'm in, or about more of what balance used to mean for me in my past relationships? So let's work on reframing what fairness is, because I think fairness and what I'm doing or what you're doing tends to be thrown around in couples counseling sessions. And we need to shift from equality to equity. Fairness doesn't mean sameness. It means that we're meeting each other's needs. And I'm going to be honest with you, there's always going to be a partner in a relationship that may need more than the other, but that doesn't make them needy. It just means that they have needs and they need to be met. Whereas another partner may be more lackadaisical and maybe their needs are not as intense as their other partners. But we'll look at that and go, but that's unequal. But that's not the same thing. We're talking about, are we meeting our partner's needs? And that's more important than equality. We also have to name our capacity in an honest way. I always like to use the percentage rule with couples of like, if your 0% is like, I can barely get out of bed and I'm probably not going to today, whereas 100 is, I'm up, I can manage myself and also probably manage you. Where are you at today? And I don't think couples communicate that enough. I think we expect, especially if we've been in the couplehood for quite some time, that we kind of expect the partner to read our body cues, read our body language, read that, well, because I sighed 3 times, you should know that I'm upset or exhausted or overwhelmed. Yeah, that might be true, but sometimes being able to communicate to my partner like, hey, I'm like at 40% today, we're letting our partner know that they can meet you where you're at. So my 40% may look like I'm going to do all the bare minimum, but I'm probably not going to show up in an emotional reciprocity type way when you and me try to connect tonight. But my partner walks in with that expectation and not thinking that, oh, well, I got all my chores done, so now I'm going to be 100% into this emotional reciprocity. And if I don't, now my partner's going to be resentful because they assumed and expected walking in. So a lot of this is about communication of where we're at. And I always say communicate your capacity when we come back together. So for example, when we're together in the morning, let's say you live with your partner, in the morning, you're going to know somewhat of your capacity of that percentage marker. But then we drift off. We go to work, work, we do our errands, we do our things. The moment we come back together, that's where we should be communicating our percentage. We don't know, did the thing that we did invigorate us, build our percentage back up, or did it deplete us more? And where are we at? Because when we come back and meet together with our partner, this is where connection is supposed to be started. This is where the actual relationship is built, is during these little meets and aways. And so if I'm not communicating with my partner where I'm at, my partner's going to expect a lot from me. And it might not be because I don't want to do it. It could be because I just don't have the capacity. We also have to ask for help. Asking for help requires a lot of vulnerability because we don't know how it's going to be received. But we have to ask for help without keeping a tally or a scorecard of who's helping more. This is all about what I was just talking about of taking care of each other, because I love you, because I care about you, because I care about your well-being, not because I'm keeping score, not because I hope that you do the same thing for me. It's that I want to take care of you, just like how you hopefully want to take care of me. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It's this foundation. And if we don't have vulnerability, we don't have the ability to be honest. We don't have the ability to build trust. We don't have the ability to build a relationship without those two things. So we actually need to practice being vulnerable with our partner, and our partner and you practice holding space for that vulnerability. Lastly, we need to see the long view. We need to see what we're sacrificing and doing right now for the greater good of the long haul of the relationship. Relationships are built on seasons, and this is a very interesting concept, and I think I might do a whole episode just on that. But relationships have good points, have bad points, and have kind of these blah points, and that is actually very normal. Because if you think about yourself, not just in a relationship, but just as you, there are some days where you feel great. There are some days where you feel bad. And there are some meh days too. But we don't hold those against you. Just like how we shouldn't hold it against the relationship if the relationship is kind of in a blah point. That is maybe the season what we're in. We need to look at the relationship as a whole, not as a single day or a single moment of time, but what this single moment of times of how we approach these things, not based on keeping score, but holding space for vulnerability, compounds to make the seasons of the relationship last long, which is what we want. We want our relationship to last. Here's a quick note for my clinicians listening. If you're looking for a charting and practice management system that doesn't make you want to scream, well, guess what? I use Therapy Notes. It's clean, reliable, HIPAA compliant, and honestly saves me hours every week. You can try it with my link in the show notes. So as we close out, here's a reminder for you this week. Relationships aren't 50-50. They're actually 100-100 with a lot of intention. Both people bring what they have as they are with a willingness to adjust, because love isn't measured in halves. It's measured in how often we show up, even when it's uneven at times. I want to thank you for spending this time with me today. I know it's been probably a busy holiday season for you. And so for closing out this new year with these Thursday thoughtfuls, I want you to move into the new year and remember this. Balance isn't a math problem. It's a rhythm, and you're allowed to find your own pace. Until next time, be gentle with your mind. One more thing before you go, and this helps me personally, staying present and grounded, which we all need, especially when your brain wants to spiral into disconnection. Me too. It's Brain FM. It's musically designed to help ADHD brains, well, really anyone's brain, focus, relax, or sleep, and I use it almost daily. If you want to try it, I've dropped my link in the show notes. And if you're looking for planning tools or ADHD-friendly resources, I'll keep a list of my favorite links in every episode.